Hello, Lashpreneurs. Welcome. We are doing a special interview with Anita of Lashing Nashville in Nashville, Tennessee. Anita is a Lashpreneur Society member, and she is one of my success stories, and I wanted to bring her on so she could share her journey through becoming a business owner, the struggles that she went through, and how she is now in a place where she is massively successful and turning into a training academy and kind of fulfilling the purpose of why she started a business in the first place. So welcome, Anita. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So hi, everybody. Thanks for jumping on. Hi, Patricia. Let's talk about business. So you are a solo lash artist still and business owner in Nashville. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And what was your journey from going from working for someone into running your own business?
I was working for somebody, actually managing about five, six estheticians, working about 55 hours a week, doing a lot of waxing, lashing really kind of on the side. And I really decided that I wanted to work for myself, and I wanted to do lashes full time. So I really just quit my job, just completely quit. I really just kind of had a nervous breakdown, really. I just was like, I can't do this anymore.
55 hours for somebody else? Whew, yeah.
And I was building somebody else's business, and I saw that I thought that I could do it. And so I quit my job and went and opened my own business in like 2 weeks. It was really crazy. I don't know how I did it, but I did.
What did that feel like, both leaving, I guess, a consistent job, a stable job, if you will, into being a business owner?
It was a lot of anxiety, a lot of sleepless nights, but I believed in myself. I saw that I helped somebody else build a business over a 2.5-year period to a really successful business. And I said, well,
I already did it once.
I feel like I did a good job helping her build her business. So I think I can do it myself. So
do you feel like those skills translated to entrepreneurship?
There was a lot of things I didn't know that was going on behind the scenes, for sure. That's one class that they do not teach you in aesthetic school and I swear they need that class, is entrepreneurship, because that really is what our business is. I don't care if you're doing skincare or lashes.
Have you heard my story about how I got the business teacher fired when I was in beauty school? Not fired. He quit. I'm sorry. He quit.
No.
So it was, and this is just, I guess, true to me. I was really excited about the business side of things. Shocking. I know. In beauty school, no less. And I was really looking forward to this business class. And it was the massage teacher who was teaching it. And it was the first class I went to. And I guess he had been teaching it for a couple of years. And I challenged him on two of the things that he was saying, not in a disrespectful or rude way. I just didn't understand why he was teaching the technique or the strategy that he was teaching. And he kind of got really flustered and didn't really respond to me. And I was like, okay, whatever. And then he quit the next week. I was like, oh, was that me? Like, I wasn't being combative. I was just challenging him on what I didn't. I don't know. I guess that's just true to who I am. But I'm like, yeah, I should go teach in beauty schools, I guess.
Absolutely.
If I can help out. Sorry, side tangents. So let's talk about, what were some of the struggles you had before you started investing in business coaching?
My biggest struggle was I really didn't know where to go or where to put my money. I was literally putting my money in every little thing that came out. If I saw something on the internet, I was like, "Ooh, that looks good." Or if I read something, I believe that, or I believe this, So my money was just going out the window to a lot of things that I was spending a little bit here, but not really focusing where it should go.
So do you think that those things were going to be investments into growing your business, or were going to change your business?
Oh yeah. And even before I decided lashes was the only thing I was going to do, I thought, well, I have to offer everything. So I was going to all these skincare classes and thinking I was going to have to invest $2,000 into this and, skincare company, and $2,000 into this one. And then, so my time and my money was going all over the place,
And what were you doing as far as marketing?
I was doing boosting posts, which I shouldn't have been doing. And I was putting money into, I can't remember now. Like, it was just, I was putting money everywhere else.
Groupon?
Well, Groupon, I was thinking of that as being marketing. I was thinking of that as throwing my money away.
Well, okay, wasted your money versus marketing. Yeah, not getting the return. So what was the Groupon world like for you? I know it's not true of everyone, but what was Groupon like for you?
No, and I will tell you, I went from a company where she did Groupon and she really did really well. So I was like, well, it's going to translate to lashes. It did not, or it didn't translate for me. And I was spending a lot of time doing, sitting and waiting on Groupon clients because one, I was, didn't have a credit card down for them, so there would be huge gaps of time where I'd have a ton of no-shows. Or if I did have a client come in, they didn't come back, and it was, and I really, and it was hurtful to me. I was thinking it was hurtful, but it really wasn't. When I look back on it, they weren't a client that was going to keep coming back.
They were loyal to the deal, and this is not true of every Groupon customer, but for the most part, the way that Groupon is now, and this wasn't the case when it first came out several years ago, but people become deal seekers. So they're just going to bounce from place to place to place. And it's very hard to transition a Groupon, even though you're getting them into the door, it's hard to transition them to a long lifetime client. Not saying that's the case every time, but there's definitely a lot more energy spent, and your return on paying Groupon to market you to a not so ideal client. Yeah, it's not what I coach on.
Well, it was a confidence, just crusher too, So
you get them to come back for touch-ups or I know the feeling. Yeah. So what was a typical day like for you before doing coaching?
There was a lot of days where I would think I would have a full book of business and then I'd get cancellations, or I'd have, people no show, or there would be days where I wouldn't have any clients whatsoever. And, it was not consistent. It was never really where I wanted to be. And I just was like, am I a bad lash artist? Am I, am I in the right market? I mean, what did I do? What did I do? I left my job. What did I do?
Yep.
So there was a lot of, confidence that I lost. I went from having, working for a very successful business, thinking that I helped build that business, which I did, but then there was a lot of it that I didn't know what was going on. So it really was a confidence crusher, just not having the consistent clientele coming in. And I knew that was going to take a minute, but it took a little longer than I thought.
You just didn't have those consistent little small wins in order to keep that motivation going.
Right.
Huh? Yeah. So what was that like for your personal life? Did you feel like you wanted to quit at any point?
No, I never wanted to quit because I'm too headstrong for that. I was too determined to really prove to so many people that were like, you're crazy for quitting this job.
What are you doing? Business owner? Really?
Yeah. This is what, so, I was not going to quit. I was going to do this until it absolutely killed me, which it almost did. So
been there. So what made you choose to get involved with the Lashpreneur?
I was watching you on Facebook, and, I knew that I needed some kind of mentor, and I had looked for mentors. And honestly, I come from a family of lawyers and business people, and I would go to them and ask them about business things and legal things about my business. They just didn't get it, and
tell you to go hand out flyers. I hear that a lot from, the old school business people. Go hand out flyers at a parking lot or at a salon.
They just didn't take me as seriously because, and this is coming from my sister. She was like, oh, your little lash business. Oh, your little whatever. And I'm like, So I just needed somebody that knew it, that could see it from my point of view and didn't see me as just a little girl trying to be in the beauty business.
Business owner, isn't that cute?
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm a serious person about this. So, go
ahead.
No, go ahead. I mean, it's just, I needed somebody that was going to be like me,
Yeah. Yeah. I remember connecting with you, even just in your application. I was like, yes, this is my kind of girl. So what are some wins that you had once you started getting coaching? Because we started coaching, Anita and I started working together in March of last year. So I know one of your initial goals was something by your birthday in June. Do you remember what that initial goal was? Was it a financial goal that you had?
I wanted to be fully booked by my 40th birthday.
Right. That's right. So that meant for you how many days a week and how many clients? Do you remember?
4 days a week, 5 to 6 clients a day.
And do you remember when you reached that?
It was right before my birthday.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be able to take some time off for my birthday.
And your birthday's at the beginning of June, right?
Yeah, it's June. So it was probably, the end of May. So it didn't take that long. But
so what do you think was the transition to really help you start to see momentum? Was there like an aha moment? Was it niching yourself down to being just a lash artist? Was it branding? Was it clarity?
I will say definitely the boundaries with clients, not answering text and saying, oh, sure, I'll see you in 30 minutes, or whatever. It was definitely, the scarcity marketing helped a lot too, where I literally blocked off time and I was like, no, I'm sorry, I'm full. And that was scary to do that.
Right.
But it really worked. Like the scarcity marketing worked for me really well.
Yep.
And having boundaries with my price too. With my time and my price, those were two big things, because I had a lot of people say, oh, well, so-and-so down the street gives me, $100 or whatever it is. And I would say, well, okay. It was almost like negotiating back and forth. Yeah. And then, and another thing is I never could remember who I was giving this price to or this price to. And then it became confusing and I was having to it was just too much. It was
right. There was no consistency, especially in your price point. So there's no way you could have really reliably forecasted your income because it was all over the place, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then I felt bad because I was like, so-and-so would tell their friends, oh, she's giving them to me for $50. And then when they came in and it was, $120, they're like, wait a minute. So, that screws up your, referrals because they're referring the cheap client to you and you have to go with that, but you don't have to, but you kind of feel like.
So have you raised your prices in the last year?
Twice.
How'd that go?
Fine.
Was everybody up in arms and just lost clients left and right?
No, I didn't lose one.
Yep.
I didn't lose one client and I've raised them twice in 6 months.
I'm so proud of you. Okay. So what were some of your goals for your business? We already talked about by your birthday, you wanted to be fully booked 4 days a week. What since then have been some of your goals?
I've had some, I wanted to have certain, monetary goals and I've made those and beat them twice. So, and actually this past May, I sent you a text or maybe an email, I can't remember, and said that I was hoping to get to a certain goal and I hit that, And
one of the stats you shared with me was you looked at your Square reports, and it said you increased your sales by 195% from 2016 to 2017. And then it increased. So she got coaching starting in 2017. And then from 2017 to 2018, they increased by 44%. And that's only averaging about 25 hours a week. So how much in comparison to what you were making and how much you were working with Groupon versus now? What does that look like?
See, and that was something that, we talked about, or I wish I had those numbers, because I need to go back and look at Vagaro and look at how many hours I was working, in 2016. But I was booked probably more like time. Now, was I actually getting those clients in the door? No, because I had a ton of no-shows and things like that. So I was actually working more hours sitting there, just kind of twiddling my thumbs half the time. And now I'm working less and making way more.
Yeah. Even compared to when you were working in someone else's business?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. I'm making probably 3 times what I was making.
Working half the amount of time. Working smarter, not harder. It's a beautiful thing. It's not just a phrase. There's actual logic and strategy behind it. Oh, I love it. Okay. Anything else? Any wisdom that you would want to share with lash artists who may be struggling, the Anitas of 2016? What can you, having the experience that you have, having the success and the confidence that you have now, what would you say to somebody who is in the Anita of 2016 shoes?
You can do it. You definitely have to have your boundaries. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to have these, I don't know. I put it to you some time ago about like being mean to your clients. You want to be strong.
You have a backbone. Set a boundary that's healthy, so that we get this reputation in the beauty industry that we're a bunch of pushovers. And it's no surprise to me that once you established a boundary and you reinforced it and had policies in place to kind of support and communicate what the expectation was between you and the client, that's when your clients started taking you seriously, and you started drawing in clients who viewed you as a business owner instead of just somebody that they can negotiate with, right? Mm-hmm. I agree.
Well, and I had somebody the other day actually walk in and say, well, the last set I got, I paid, I can't remember, she said $75 for a full set. And I said, okay. And she just stared me down, and I kind of stared her down a little bit. And I was like, okay,
Why don't you go back there?
I was kind of like, well, that's great. And she said, well, I'll call you and let you know if I'm going to come back. And I said, okay, well, I book out about 2.5 weeks in advance. So, you're welcome to book now, or you might have to wait longer. And she just was like shocked at what I said. Her face was like shocked. And I just said, okay, bye.
I had one woman.
It did not hurt my feelings at all. And before it would have crushed me. And I would have been like, oh my God, she's walking out the door without booking with me. And I would have freaked out, but you don't have to. And there are going to be some times where they're going to walk right out the door, but I don't want those people. I don't want them in my business, because they're only just going to give me, anxiety every time that I see them on my book. And I'm going to be like, oh, her again today,
That's
so
the energy.
You want to book, you want the people that you are going to want to see every time. You're going to be excited to see them every time. And those are the people that are going to respect you.
Yeah. We do have a question I want to address. Hi, Julie. How are you? She asked if Groupon helped bring in clients, though. So, Julie, I do want to make a distinction that Groupon sometimes can help you to draw clients into your business. And I did I think it was a Lessons of a Lashpreneur breakdown of the cost of Groupon. So Groupon is marketing. That is what Groupon is. They are marketing your business for you, and that comes at a cost. So the example that I give is if you charge $100 for a full set regularly, Groupon requires you to cut it by at least 50%. So let's call that $50 is what Groupon charges the client for purchasing the Groupon so that they can come to see you. Groupon then takes 50% of that as their cut for marketing for you. So that brings it down to $25 for your portion of it. But they also take a 2.5% to 3% credit card processing fee. So that brings it down, I think, to $23.50 is what that works out to. So for a $100 value service, you're getting paid $23.50. Now, how long does it take you to do a full set? Probably anywhere from 2.5 hours if you're doing classic. So at 2 hours at $23.50 for that total sale, you're making, what is that, $11.50-ish an hour? You can make that at McDonald's, if not more. At least here in California, our minimum wage, I think, is $13 or $14 right now. So if you got into running a business to work minimum wage, and oh, by the way, you have all these overhead expenses, you have to work so much harder to get that client to come back. I'm all for throwing around discounts to get a client in the door if that's what's going to take, because I understand that their lifetime value or let's say their annual value is anywhere from $1,100 to $1,500 depending on what you charge. So if you give a $20 discount to get somebody in the door, but you get $1,500 from them for the year, I'll do that deal all day long. But with Groupon, it is drawing in people who are loyal to the deal. And as soon as the deal goes away, the client likely goes away too. And you are going to have a hell of a time raising your prices $5 increments at a time to get to a point where you're actually profitable in your business. So, Julie, I hope that helps to answer your question. I very much want people to bring in the right types of clients. And that means that charging an appropriate price, not just because we offer a luxury service, that's what lashes are, but so that you can support yourself. A business costs money to run. And if your business is not making money, it's a hobby and it's a very expensive one at that. So just getting on my little coaching things. All right, Anita, well, thank you so much. If you guys want to follow Anita, she is opening up a training academy in Nashville starting September, you said?
It'll probably be more like October.
Okay, so go ahead and follow Anita on Lashing Nashville on social media. And we do have registration open for the Lashpreneur Society right now. We are closing registration on Wednesday, so you have to make a decision, that scarcity marketing, by Wednesday to join. Otherwise, we're not opening the doors to the society until next year. So you can join Anita and I in there, and maybe next launch, your success story will be something we feature on Facebook. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.